It began, as these things often do, with arrogance. The Zalith Dominion had long watched humanity's expansion beyond Sol with quiet disdain. To them, humans were upstarts. Loud, emotional, prone to sentimentality. A species that built cities where there should be quiet void. They called us the soft iron. Brittle, loud, and easily broken. So when their scouts found Lyra 9, a colony world of modest strength and great promise, they saw opportunity. No fleet stood guard. Only orbital stations, trade ships, and a few defense corvettes. The planet's lush valleys and crystalline seas whispered of weakness. And so, the Zalith came. They arrived not with negotiation, but with fire. Their fleet descended through the clouds like silver knives, cutting through the blue skies of Lyra 9. Civilian transports were vaporized mid-air. The colony's orbital ring cracked, raining molten debris upon the capital. They called it a demonstration. On the colony's emergency channels, the Zalith commander's voice echoed, smooth, cold, certain. "We take this world in the name of the Dominion. You will kneel, or you will burn. Your homeworld will understand its place." The humans of Lyra 9 tried to resist. Farmers picked up rifles. Engineers turned mining lasers into weapons. The militia held for 12 days. 12 days against orbital bombardment and mechanized infantry. On the 13th, the colony fell. The Zalith walked through the burning remains of human cities. Their commander, High Talon Virik, recorded a message for his superiors, and for humanity. He stood before a captured school, children's drawings of stars still fluttering on the walls behind him. "They build dreams here," he said with amusement. "Little worlds for little minds. Weak stock, easy prey. Let this stand as proof. Humanity is not ready for the galaxy." Then, for reasons known only to cruelty, he ordered the children of Lyra 9 executed. The screams echoed across the colony's open channels. And then, silence. For 3 standard days, the Zalith fleet loitered above Lyra 9, broadcasting their victory to every trading hub and neutral world that would listen. They called it the cleansing of the pretenders. They thought Earth would issue a protest, a demand for justice, perhaps a strongly worded diplomatic message. They had forgotten who we are, mockery among the stars in the cycles that followed. The Zalith Dominion celebrated. Their council halls glittered with trophies from Lyra 9, banners taken from the colony's government dome, fragments of human starships displayed in crystal cases. They held feasts under the glow of alien suns and toasted to their lesson in humility. Their communications were filled with laughter. "The humans have spirit," they said, "but no teeth. Their homeworld will mourn, and then forget. Their kind always bows to power." Other species in the Galactic Accord watched quietly. Some pitied the humans, others nodded in agreement. To them, Earth was a curiosity, a world of poets, dreamers, and traders, capable of great art, but not great war. But they did not see the silence that followed on human channels. No fiery broadcasts, no speeches, no cries for vengeance, just quiet, deep, and total. The silence of a storm drawing breath. On Mars, the old shipyards came alive again, lights flickering across forgotten dry docks. On Luna, the orbital foundries began running non-stop, their furnaces burning hotter than they had in decades. Earth's skies filled with the contrails of carrier launches, but no words were spoken. No declarations made. To the galaxy, it looked as though humanity was retreating into grief. To humanity, it was preparation. The silence breaks it began with the loss of contact at Zalith Outpost 47. A deep space relay on the edge of their border simply went dark. Then, a week later, Outpost 32. And then an entire trade convoy, gone without a trace. When the Dominion dispatched a patrol fleet to investigate, it found only wreckage, ships torn apart, hulls scored by kinetic fire. No survivors, no transmissions, only a phrase burned into the hull of one freighter, in English letters scorched black for Lyra 9. The Zalith dismissed it as piracy. Rogue elements, perhaps, until it happened again, and again, and again. Entire border sectors began going dark. Mining worlds silent, stations obliterated. Then, one night, the humans spoke. Across every open frequency of the Dominion, a voice, calm, cold, unmistakably human, broke through the static. "This is Earth Command. You took one of our worlds. You hurt our children. You thought we would kneel. We don't kneel. We bury you." Then came the coordinates. 58 Dominion strongholds, all targeted at once. The message ended with a line that would be burned into galactic history. This is not war, this is remembrance. Moments later, the sky burned, the rising of the children. The fleets that emerged from Sol were unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The Xalith had fought 100 wars, but never against a species that learned so fast, built so fiercely, and remembered so deeply. The humans' dreadnoughts were not sleek or beautiful. They were brutal, slabs of black armor and thrusters, bristling with rail cannons, missile bays, and kinetic drivers. Their names were written in simple, chilling words: Retribution, Vigilant, Lyra's Vow, Children of Iron. The humans called them the Children's Fleet. Each ship carried the names of the murdered colonists engraved along its hull. They said it was so the dead could see justice done. When they arrived in the Xalith sector, the aliens were unprepared. They expected diplomacy. They got annihilation. Human carriers deployed waves of stealth drones that blanketed orbital defenses in EMP storms. Marines landed in drop pods, thousands of them, burning through atmosphere like falling stars. And these were not the soldiers the Xalith remembered. These were the colonial children, the ones who had grown up in gravity wells 10 times harsher than Earth's, who had learned to survive in thin air and low light. They were not born on old Earth. They were born among dust and hunger and silence, the crucibles of the frontier. They were miners' sons, farmers' daughters, the generation that had known both struggle and sky. And when they came like judgment. Their armor was layered with adaptive plating, moving like shadow and steel. Their weapons were kinetic, brutal, unstoppable, made for close combat and devastation. The Xalith defenders called for reinforcements. None came. Entire systems went dark under the human advance. One by one, Dominion worlds burned. Human fleets didn't occupy. They erased. Every fortress bombarded from orbit until molten. Every warship hunted and destroyed. And when human boots touched alien soil, they said only one thing before opening fire. For Lyra. The Dominion falls. The Xalith tried to parley. They sent envoys under white banners, broadcasting pleas for ceasefire, for understanding. The humans didn't respond. Their ships passed silently through wreckage fields, engines burning cold blue, weapons hot. In desperation, the Dominion unleashed their dreadlords, planet-killer weapons, forbidden by treaty and hidden for centuries. They turned them upon the advancing fleets, but the humans had already learned. They hacked their systems mid-launch, turning the weapons back upon their own masters. 3 Xalith core worlds were vaporized in the resulting detonations. The galaxy watched in horror. 100 systems tuned into the broadcasts, the live feeds of burning worlds, on one captured frequency. A Xalith officer's final words were recorded: "They are not human anymore. They are vengeance given form," and he wasn't wrong. By the time Earth Command called the offensive to halt, the Dominion was gone. Their fleets shattered, their homeworld reduced to a radioactive ocean. Only fragments of their language and ruins of their empire remained. The stars where they once ruled now belonged to no one. And the humans. They didn't stay. They left behind silence. No occupation, no demands. Just a warning, a single transmission, repeated on every frequency across the void. We do not start wars, but we end them. The whispered fear in the cycles that followed. The galaxy tried to understand what had happened. The Galactic Accord assembled inquiries. They spoke of ethics, of restraint, of the terrible efficiency of human retaliation. But even as they condemned, they trembled, because everyone had seen the recordings, the silent fleets, the storm of orbital fire, the children's names etched into war machines. Whole worlds began to whisper new proverbs. The Veshar said, "To wake the Terran is to wake the grave," the Aroth said. "Their silence is the space between heartbeats, and the next is always death." Trade routes adjusted. Borders shifted quietly away from human space. No species dared provoke them again. Even pirates learned. Human colonies might seem distant, undefended, soft, but those soft worlds raised children who built iron and carried the fury of a planet that never forgot. It became a kind of faith among the outer colonies, a phrase carved into statues, whispered before battle. We are the children they thought weak. And so humanity grew, not in peace, but in respect. No one dared strike first again, because everyone remembered Lyra 9, and everyone remembered what came after. The legacy of fire centuries later, on the quiet plains of Lyra 9, now restored, rebuilt, alive again, there stands a monument, A single column of black steel rising into the violet sky, no names upon it. Only one inscription cut deep into the surface. They thought our colonies weak, but children raised warriors. Every year, on the anniversary of the fall, children from across the stars come to lay wreaths at its base. They do not mourn. They remember. And among the stars, the echoes remain. The lesson carved into the fabric of galactic history.